why the dogma of Jesus was changed. Whoever controls the world controls the minds of man, and he can enslave men. The primary example of this is the fact of that the man who first translated the Bible into English was actually burnt at the stake in England as a witch master, because he allowed common men to go directly to the source and interpret it for themselves. And knowledge is power, and him who wants to give power to the commoners is always crucified. Something the story of Jesus himself is a living proof of. After a while, they realized that they couldn't keep the Bible in Latin. So they very carefully translated it and changed one word here and one word there and so on. The primary example of this was how A changed to V. And Alan Watts has been pinpointing out this fact before. However, a good fact can only should be repeated as many times as possible. You see, Jesus never said he was the Son of God. He said he was a Son of God. And Jesus never put himself on a pedestal and claimed to be something that everybody couldn't be. But the church fathers did. Because they realized if they had monopoly on the wisdoms of Jesus, then they could enslave mankind. So they put him on such a tall pedestal that it was impossible for the commoners to do what Jesus had told them to do in order to gain access to heaven, whatever that is, which is the subject of a different video. And Jesus said that him who wants to go to heaven has to do as I did, and pick up his cross and allow himself to be crucified for the truth. Now, of course, for any sane person doing such a thing, realizing it will kill you and maybe resurrect you 3 days afterwards, is simply insanity. So no man is willing to do this. Hence, all men are slaves. And the Bible can be twisted and distorted and turned upside down and exploited in any ways a shrewd man sees fit. For instance, when a shrewd man has committed a sin, he can say, oh, only God shall be the judge, right? And thereby escape judgment, apparently. And so on and so on. I mean, there are pastors in some places on this earth still today who teach that their male congregation shall resist the temptation of sex and only allow the pastor to copulate with their spouses to gain access to heaven. And you don't really have to be a rocket scientist to understand how this is not in accordance to Jesus' teachings. So very often the people who claims to be the most Christians are the ones who are the furthest away from the teachings of Jesus themselves. Either because they are flat out evil and realize how the Bible can be exploited for personal gains, to hypnotize the masses, to submit their values to them, or because people completely misunderstands the message. And that's why the story of Jesus has been deliberately destroyed. Because it is the recipe for power. Power, on the one hand, over your own life and your own freedom. And on the other hand, power to enslave other men. And therefore the Bible was effectively hijacked. And it started already when Peter renounced Jesus 3 times in a row before the rooster cried, proving he was a big enough liar to be able to completely destroy the historic Jesus in favor of something that was of servitude to only the kings and nobody else.